君が来たってことを知らしめてほしい。
了解。オールマイト。
The Hero Tournament in UA High is considered to be one of the most popular events in the entire school. In here, different heroes are gathered to test their quirks and their strategic skills. The rules and the goal of the game is simple. Each one of the students will fight against another student, and the winner will go one round up. Based on the number of students, there'll be 10 to 15 rounds, and the one who comes out at the top by beating all of them can win the big prize. It is the same as the multiplayer Tower Battle mode in Mortal Kombat, but this time you fight with heroes who have quirks. So in this video, we'll tell you how to win the tournament no matter how tough your opponent is. The first thing that you need to do is to understand your opponent. One of the best examples is how Midoriya used this for his advantage during the tournament arc of the anime. Midoriya knows that he didn't possess much strength compared to heroes like Bakugo or Todoroki, so he used their previous battles to analyze their movements as well as the way they use their quirks. Analyzing this before will give you an advantage, and you may even be lucky enough to use the element of surprise. Say you are the first to fight, but don't let that play for your advantage. You'll get to know who you are fighting a few hours before, and that will give you plenty of time to do some quick research on your opponent. You may not be able to understand his fighting style, but you can take the time to study his quirks and how he used it in the past. If you've done your research correctly, you're heading to the fight armed with this information, and this will grant you a lot of advantage, as you'll see in the next few steps. The second step is to understand the limits and powers of your own quirk. This is what we call the training arc, which means you'll be perfecting the ways you can use your power and learning some tips and tricks along the way. Is your power something that can be used to go on the offensive, like Bakugo's explosion and Todoroki's ice fire? Or is your power more suited for defense, like the power of Cementos? Understand whether you should go prepared to attack or prepared to defend without simply the intention to defeat your opponent. It will play for your advantage, since you know what move to use and when to use it, because you are much more familiar with your quirk. The third most important step is to understand the arena you're fighting in. Luckily for you, this isn't a fight that's going to spring up suddenly out of nowhere. It is going to be scheduled, and it's going to be a fight inside a fighting stage, which you can clearly see hours before the fight. Do you all remember the heroes who got disqualified simply because they stepped out of the arena? Or do you remember the way Midoriya at first used his quirk to push Todoroki to the edge? If you're cunning enough, you can win the fight by using your quirk to throw the opponent off the arena and by getting him disqualified. But let's not forget your opponent is going to fight back. He clearly isn't going to just stand there and let you throw punches at him. This is where all the tips and tricks you understood about your opponent play for your advantage. When you first meet your opponent, it is best to use your skills for your defense. If you have a quirk like hardening your skin or manipulating substances, then this is going to be an easy task. By going on defense in the first few moments, you can get a good understanding about how your opponent is going to fight you. Is he going to use his full power? What types of attacks will he be using? And last but not least, what can you understand about his strategy? If you've got a plan, he has a plan as well. And the more you understand it, the better you can organize your moves. After you understand his fighting style, then you can start using your own quirks. Normally in the tournament, you are paired with someone who has a very similar or a complete opposite quirk compared to you. So if your powers are water manipulation, then you're going to be teamed up with someone else who has the fire quirk. If your skill is to harden your skin, you'll be teamed up with someone who can harden their skin as well. A good example of this is Tetsu and Kirishima's fight during the tournament. Your attacks shouldn't be done continuously because that would grant your opponent time to understand your moves and even use your blind attacks for his advantage. Think of winning the tournament like winning a game of chess. It should be played with patience or you'll completely lose the game. When you are attacking first, do some slow attacks to see how your opponent reacts to it, and then move on to more rapid attacks whenever he lowers his defense. Lowering his defense makes him more vulnerable for attacks, and giving him a few hard punches then is more effective than blindly attacking him. Another thing to be careful about the tournaments is the referees who are watching it. So if you're going to go through the Machiavellian route and do some cheating, then clearly that's you paving your way to be disqualified. But if you can make your opponent cheat with you, then that's a tricky way to win the game as well. For this, make sure to manipulate his moves or to burn his temper with some words, so he will madly start attacking you and then make some mistakes.
煽ったのは君だろ。先生でなんて言ってたっけ、恥ずかしいやつ。まあいいや、 お疲れ。
See, there are a lot of tricky ways to win the tournament. And finally, let's say you followed these strategies and managed to weaken your opponent. The countdown clock is ticking. Both of you are laying ragged breaths, and everyone is waiting for you to deliver the final punch. The last moments of the fight count a lot, because this is the moment where your opponent would land a couple of hard hits on you as a final solution. This happening during Bakugo's fight with Urakara, where he evaded her attacks and managed to land a final powerful hit to defeat her.
私もデク君みたいに
As usual, stay on your defense, expecting any attack, and look for a moment where your opponent weakens. This is also a really good time to use your hidden attack. In most cases, it is better to keep one powerful attack of your quirk hidden, so that you can use it in moments like this. Say your quirk is ice manipulation, then one powerful trap of ice shards would do the trick. This also takes away your opponent's time to think, and because he never saw that attack coming. So, the whole tournament is like a repeat of my words. It's a game of chess. If you can use your moves correctly, and wait for the right moment to reveal your trump cards, then you can clearly land on as the victor. The tips I mentioned have been followed by both Midoriya and Bakugo, and you clearly saw the results. Bakugo ranked first, and as for Midoriya, he still would have gotten the second place if he wasn't so ultralistic about saving Bakugo. And there it is, the way to beat the tournament arc in My Hero Academia. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like and drop your thoughts or your own tips and tricks down below in the comments. That's all for today, anime fans, and I'll see you in the next video.